What is up, everybody? Welcome back. This is going to be an updated review on the Warren Lotus Dunks material review. I've been seeing so many people comment, oh, how's the materials on these? Oh, these are made in China. Oh, blah, 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 blah. These aren't Mentality materials, $300 for some fakes. And I'm here to kind of address those things and kind of dial back on my original review. Now, in my original review, these were the only Warren Lotus that had released. Heinekens were still, I guess, being pre-ordered or about to release. I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt and just believe everything he was saying. You know, these are Italian made. Here's a screenshot where he says, oh, they're made in the same factory as all these really nice brands. Yada, yada, yada. The same thing Warren has been pushing down our throats pre-Nike lawsuit. And even like the audacity for him to like come at Nike for Vietnamese factories and so on and so forth. So let me get these straight out. You've already seen the box plenty. Okay, so the Warren Lotus Dunk. Now, I was super lenient on the first review. I gotta admit, I wasn't really looking into it, and this is the only shoe I had besides like Puss Heads. And I feel like Puss Heads were like the worst shoe I could compare these to, because my Puss Head, the leather on them is cracking, everything's really aged, and that's a shoe really ready for retirement. So I decided to compare them to stuff a little bit more recent. I don't have any recent Nike SBs to show, but I want to show you guys exactly what I feel like this leather is mostly compared to. So let me grab this pair right here, and I'm gonna grab one of my favorite Air Jordan 1s that I own. Now, if you know Air Jordan 1s, you know that 2016 above, when these came out in millions, the leather's on the red, really nice, super plush, super nice. But then you get the plastic leather, the plastic black. That's just not as nice, but it's meant to be more durable. I feel like the leather throughout the entire Jason Dunk is closer to this than it is closer to this. Now, mind you, that's not on paper a bad thing until I mention retails. $160 versus $300. So Warren really pushed a $300 product onto us and made us believe that we were gonna get Italian materials, which honestly isn't the case. Now, I wanna get as close as I can. So right here, one of the things I really wanted to highlight was you see how shiny and almost not as plush you see on the breads, the black versus the red. You see how the black has more of a reflection, and you can kind of see that on not only the black parts, but the white parts of the Jason Dunk themselves. These aren't, in my opinion, full Italian grain leather. I should have seen that. I should have like really like honed in on that with the first one. Now I really wanted to compare these with synthetic leather that we see from the 2020 Dunks that only retail at a third of the price of these. So here it's focused in. You can kind of tell they have that same sheen, they have that same gloss. It's nothing spectacular. Now, if you give me that material on a $100 shoe, I'll be happy. Even if these go for $250, almost the same price as these in the aftermarket, that's aftermarket. That's just demand and supply. That's literally all it is. I couldn't touch these for retail. I'm gonna have to settle with that price. These were pre-order. These were open to whoever was on there on the time. And these weren't even the official shoe or version of the shoe that we were promised. We were promised something closer to the original Jason samples. And that's just not what we got. And I, for once, always had my doubts. I'm like, there's no way this shoe was made in Italy in any shape, way, or form. A lot of people were saying Italian materials shipped to Asian factories, which is something like, let's say, Balenciaga does. Which, if a high fashion brand can do it, a low tier fashion brand can do it as well. But then I saw this comment on Mr. Unlove's page about specifically what Warren Lotus was doing. Absolutely love Mr. Unloved one. Great pictures. Makes me love my ones even more. But in this screenshot I'm posting right here, you see that he's actually been reached out to companies to make a product. To make a shoe in his likeness or with his name so they can push those on forward. It makes me really think that this is exactly what we saw with Warren Lotus himself. Right here on the tongue, we see two things. We see whipped up in LA, right here on the tongue, whipped up in LA. But then on the underside, the actual underside of the tongue, made in Indonesia. Besides the made in Indonesia, the subpar leather, and the suede that's never really blown me away. It's not even that brushable. If like, I'm trying to show it as best as I can in camera, but like it just does not brush. I took the insole out. I'm not gonna do any cuts for this specific part, so I can show you that this insole is coming straight from the shoe. Now, mind you, these shoes are still DS, they're still brand new. What is that piece of tape doing there? Is it the thing that was holding? Yeah, oh my God, the inside sucks. But put that tape back in there. And this is what I really wanted to highlight. He flexed these on his story the other week before the lawsuit, and he was saying how hard it was to get this right. But the matter of the fact, on this specific pair, he just did not. Warren Lotus branding right here and a Warren Lotus branding right there. The indent and the actual screen print of his name. But then we get to the air unit, the thing he said was the hardest to replicate. And it's honestly, it's not glued in. It's like about to fall off. And these are a brand new pair of shoes. Imagine these worn with heat on your heel, walking all day. That's terrible. Even the foam detailing right here, it's not truly all the way in. And this is just something I didn't take out for the initial review. And I think after I posted it and a couple weeks after, I took it out just to take a good look at him, because I heard he did his own insole. I was just so disappointed. This plus this feels like fake quality. The more and more I hold him, the more and more I compare him to all my other shoes, stuff directly from Nike's warehouses and stuff like that. Feels like just a product that's way too off. Way too off. Especially comparing them to the original images he would show us. Comparing, like, let's say what the Stussies are supposed to look like. What he showed us, which was almost a weird Photoshop of what we see stock images for Stussies. Let's say the Heinekens that came out, he actually released them looking like how these look, which I guess is understandable, but I feel like Heinekens are even worse than these. So slipping these back in, that's all the updates I wanted to do about the Warren Lotus shoes themselves. I will definitely not see another pair in my possession. If I ever do, I'll just show you guys on TikTok or something like that how much they suck, if they suck. If he comes out with a pair of shoes that are awesome, I'll eat my words 100%. But thanks to this Nike lawsuit, that doesn't really seem to be the case. I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Check out that video if you want to learn a little bit more about the lawsuit, and if you are gonna get your pre-orders. I'll see you guys then. Peace.